Ever wonder why your shots keep missing? Tiny errors in grip, alignment, and follow-through can ruin even easy pots. Let's fix them fast. Get control back and make every shot count. Starting with the most common cue mistake players make. One of the most common mistakes players run into is gripping the cue the wrong way. A lot of beginners grab it like they're hanging on for dear life. The problem with that is when you grip too tight, your arm muscles tense up, and instead of a smooth swing, the cue jerks and throws off your shot. You'll also struggle to add spin to keep your power consistent. Now, on the flip side, holding the cue too loose is just as bad. If your hand isn't steady enough, the cue can slip or wobble, which makes the shot go offline. So whether it's too tight or too loose, your control takes a big hit.
First one, palm flat, knuckles up, form a V with your thumb. Make sure you keep that thumb tight to your hand so the cue doesn't wiggle around. The second one is a closed bridge. You're going to take your thumb, place it on your middle finger knuckle, rest the cue on your thumb, and loop with your index finger. And there you have it. Follow for more easy pool tips.
The easy fix is learning how to find that middle ground. Think about holding a small bird. You want to keep it safe in your hand without squeezing the life out of it. That's exactly how your grip should feel. Your knuckles should stay soft, not white or strained. And when you deliver the stroke, your forearm should be hanging straight and relaxed over the cue. A good rule is to use about 20 to 30% of your maximum grip strength. It sounds precise, but once you try it, you'll notice how much smoother your cue feels. A great drill is to practice stroking without even hitting a ball, just swinging back and forth and focusing only on keeping your grip calm and relaxed. Over time, this becomes second nature, and your shots will instantly feel more controlled. Another mistake players often make is holding the cue in the wrong spot. Sometimes people grip way too far back at the butt end, and sometimes they creep too far forward. Either way, the cue gets unbalanced, and the whole stroke feels awkward. You'll notice your forearm isn't hanging straight anymore, which creates a side-to-side wobble as you swing. That little bit of imbalance is enough to throw shots off and make you miss pots you'd normally sink.
For stun, top of the cue ball for top spin, bottom of the cue ball for screw back. Then you've got 4 places for side, top right, top left, bottom left.
The fix is actually pretty simple. All it comes down to is where your arm naturally sits. If you're shorter, you'll usually grip a bit higher up the cue. If you're taller, you'll find yourself lower down. The goal is to hold the cue so that when you're down on a shot, your forearm is hanging straight down, almost like a plumb line, right under the cue. A good trick is to get into your stance, let your arm relax, and then see where your hand naturally falls on the cue. That's your sweet spot. Some players even mark that spot with a little tape until it becomes second nature. Once you get used to it, the stroke feels smoother and you won't be fighting against your own body just to play a straight shot. Another big mistake is poor cue alignment and head position. A lot of players stand slightly off-center or at the wrong angle to the shot line. Sometimes the head is tilted too much or too close or far from the cue, which makes the stroke veer off course. On top of that, not using your dominant eye can trick you into thinking the cue is straight when it's actually off. Even a tiny misalignment can get amplified over the length of the cue, turning shots that should be easy into frustrating misses. Fixing this comes down to body and head position. Start by standing so your belly button and shoulders are square to the shot line, about 2 feet behind the cue ball. Keep your head still and level, with your chin lightly resting on the cue, not pressing down. Next, make sure you're looking through your dominant eye. A quick way to test it is by pointing at an object with both eyes open, then closing one eye at a time. If the object shifts when you close one eye, the other eye is your dominant one. Once you know your stance and eye, practice ghosting shots. That means lining up and stroking the cue without even hitting a ball. This builds muscle memory, so your body learns the correct alignment automatically. Over time, your shots will naturally stay straight, and you won't have to think about your head or stance on every stroke. Another common mistake is placing the bridge hand incorrectly. The bridge is the hand that rests on the table and guides the cue. If it's too far from the cue ball or too close, or if it's wobbly, the cue won't follow through smoothly. This can make your shots feel short, reduce power and spin, and even lead to miscues. Different body types can make this trickier, but the principle stays the same. The fix is simple once you know the right distance and stability. Place your bridge hand about 4 to 7 inches from the cue ball, closer for short, precise shots, and a bit farther back when you need power. Your hand should form a stable V or a closed bridge with your palm flat on the cloth. Make sure the cue can glide freely through the bridge without hitting your fingers or catching on the hand. A great way to practice is by drawing simple lines on the tablecloth to check your distance and make sure your bridge doesn't wobble. The more consistent your bridge, the smoother your strokes will become. Once it feels natural, you'll notice more control over power, spin, and accuracy in every shot. Another mistake players often make is not striking through the cue ball. Instead of following through, they stop the cue abruptly at impact, or even jab forward. This usually comes with a short backswing and weak contact, which makes the cue ball react unpredictably. Shots lose power, spin, and accuracy because the energy isn't properly transferred. The fix is to think of your stroke like a smooth pendulum. Use a longer, relaxed backswing and push the cue through the ball, letting the tip travel at least 4 inches past the contact point. Focus on keeping the tip in contact a little longer than you might naturally do. A good drill is to practice straight shots with an exaggerated follow-through and pause at the end. Feeling that extension helps make it second nature. Another common issue is losing contact between the cue and your chest during the stroke. When the cue lifts away from your body, it tends to arc instead of traveling straight. This adds unwanted side spin and can curve the cue ball, especially on long shots.
Walk in. Move your hand up. Okay, so the balance is not good, it's not falling forwards. Walk in, and now you shouldn't lift your left arm because the weight follows forwards. Okay, much better. The weight follows a little bit forwards. And now just put your back arm a little bit further back. Now you have more room for the follow through. Now try to lift your left arm. Try. Okay, much better. You feel that your weight follows forward, yeah? Good. Okay, walk in. Try to lift your left arm up. Difficult, good, good. Now play with the screw back. Nice feathers.
To fix it, keep the cue touching your chest or sternum through the entire backswing and forward stroke. Relax your upper body so you don't tense up and accidentally lift the cue. Using a mirror or recording yourself can help you check your form. Practice slow, deliberate strokes until keeping that contact feels natural. Once you do, your shots will fly straighter and your control over the cue ball will improve instantly. A few extra tips can make a big difference in how your cue performs. First, chalking. Too little chalk and the cue slips off the ball. Too much and it creates dust and messes with the table. The trick is to chalk lightly before every shot, twisting the cue evenly without digging in. Using good quality chalk helps the tip grab the ball properly. Next, check your cue itself. A cue that's too heavy, too light, or has a worn tip can make every small mistake worse. Most players do best with a cue around 18 to 19.5 ounces and a tip between 9 and 10 millimeters. It's also smart to have it checked once a year to make sure it's perfectly straight. Finally, pay attention to your pre-shot routine. Rushing your setup is a common cause of errors. Build a simple routine. Plan the shot while standing. Chalk the cue, align your stance, take 1 or 2 practice strokes, and then execute. Doing the same steps every time keeps your mind and body in sync. These kinds of mistakes are actually easy to fix. They don't need new equipment or fancy techniques, just deliberate practice. Spending 10 to 15 minutes a day on simple drills like straight line stroking can instantly improve your control and consistency. Over time, these small habits turn into natural habits, and your shots feel smoother and more reliable. Want more pro tips? Subscribe for weekly tutorials that'll take your game to the next level.